This story is about the night when my friend and I were returning from another friend's wedding. We never imagined that in the silence of that night, something would happen to us that would shake us to the core of our souls. I was lucky that I managed to escape from that haunted bus. So let me begin the terrifying story of that night. Both of us were attending a friend's wedding. As the night grew deeper, everyone left for their homes, and we were also about to leave. But my friend said, "Hey brother, why are you leaving now? Where will you go so late at night? You won't find any vehicle. Stay at my place." I replied, "No buddy, I have a very important meeting early tomorrow morning. I have to leave tonight." Then both of us came out onto the road. It was exactly 12 midnight. The highway was completely deserted. Finding a bus at such a late hour was very difficult. We went to a nearby bus stop and waited for almost an hour, but no bus arrived. Then we thought that maybe we should have listened to our friend. We decided to turn back. After walking a little distance, we saw a small tea stall by the roadside. Seeing its dim light at that hour gave us a little courage. There was an old man at the stall, warming himself by a small fire. I asked him, "Baba, will we get a bus at this hour?" The old man raised his head. His eyes were heavy with sleep. He adjusted a teacup and said in a slow, fearful voice, "Son, why are you wandering around here? No good bus will come on this highway now. But if you are in a hurry, there is an old bus shelter ahead. It's near the edge of the jungle. Maybe you'll find a bus there." I looked at my friend. The old man warned us again. "Go in that direction where the road splits into two paths." We thanked him and started walking in that direction. After walking for about 10 minutes, we reached the inner part of the jungle. And then we saw that bus shelter. The sight was very strange. In the middle of the jungle stood a broken concrete shelter that looked like it hadn't been used for years. Moss had grown on its roof, and there was deep silence all around. Both of us stood in the waiting area of the shelter. About 10 minutes passed, but there was no sound. Suddenly, we noticed a strange man. He was standing right behind us. We were shocked. Where had this man suddenly come from? I asked him, "Brother, where are you going?" He didn't reply. He just stood there silently. His clothes were old and rotten. I looked away and glanced toward the road, and what I saw made me shudder again. A little distance away from the shelter, about 20 to 25 people were standing silently in a line by the roadside. They were completely quiet, as if they were waiting for someone. My friend got scared and whispered in my ear, "What's going on? Where did all these people suddenly come from?" I felt scared too. Gathering courage, we decided to go closer to them. When we reached them, I placed my hand on one man's shoulder and asked, "Are you all waiting for the bus?" The moment I touched him, I felt that his body was completely soaked with water. His body was ice cold. When I looked closely at the others, they were all wet too. Their faces had turned pale, as if they had stayed in some submerged place for years. I was terrified. My friend pulled my hand and said, "Leave them. Something isn't right. Let's go back." Just then, a horrifying bus horn echoed from the highway. We froze. Slowly, a bus came and stopped in front of the shelter. The bus was very old. Its windows were broken, and it looked like a moving ruin. "What kind of bus is this?" my friend said nervously. "Should we get on?" Even though we were scared, we had to go. I held my friend's hand, and both of us boarded the bus. At the gate stood an old conductor wearing a torn uniform. We sat on the first two seats. The conductor came to us with his old ticket book and asked, "Where do you want to go?" I told him the name of the city. With his strange, cold hand, he tore the tickets and gave them to us. Then the wet people standing outside boarded the bus one by one, but none of them took the front seats. They all went to the very back of the bus and sat there. I felt uneasy. I asked the conductor, "Uncle, why is everyone sitting at the back? So many seats are empty." The conductor stared at me, but didn't say anything and returned to his seat. After a while, the bus started moving. It picked up speed quickly. After about 10 minutes, I began to feel uncomfortable. I got up from my seat and walked toward the back. All the people sitting there were silently staring out of the windows. No one was talking. I asked, "Where are you all going?" But there was no reply. Their clothes were soaked and their faces were pale. My fear grew stronger. I rushed toward the driver's cabin. The moment I reached there, my heart sank. There was no driver in the bus. The steering wheel was turning on its own. The bus was moving by itself. I realized that we had boarded the wrong bus. This wasn't a bus. It was a ghost vehicle. I ran back to my friend. Suddenly, one of the wet people grabbed my hand tightly. His hand was ice cold. In a terrifying voice, he said, "You will also come with us to the broken bridge." At once, all of them stood up from their seats and screamed together, "You will also go to the broken bridge. You will also die." Somehow, I freed my hand and reached my friend, shouting, "Let's jump out. This is a haunted bus." My friend looked out of the window. His face turned pale. The bus was speeding toward a broken bridge, beyond which there was only a deep ravine. Both of us ran toward the driver's cabin, but those people chased us. Just as we reached the cabin, the wettest man grabbed my neck tightly. And at that very moment, the bus crashed loudly and fell into the ravine from the broken bridge. And we both lost consciousness. When my eyes opened the next morning, I was groaning in pain. I saw that we were lying near the jungle by the roadside. My friend was still unconscious. I splashed water on his face and poured water into his eyes. Only then did he regain consciousness. We stood up and looked ahead. The bus shelter had completely turned into ruins. Its roof was broken and the ground around it was shattered. Then we saw the same old man cutting wood nearby. I asked him, "Grandfather, the bus shelter was fine at night. How did it suddenly turn into ruins?" The old man stared at us and said, "Who are you? This shelter has been abandoned for 100 years, and the bridge ahead collapsed 100 years ago as well." Hearing this, the ground slipped from beneath our feet. We looked at each other. We had fallen into the ravine at night. How were we still alive? The old man said, "Son, the bus you boarded was the same accident bus. 100 years ago, it fell into the ravine from that bridge, and all the passengers died. Since then, this place has been haunted." We fully understood that night. We were not traveling in a bus, but journeying with passengers of death. After that night, I never traveled at night again. Whenever I remember that scene, my body starts trembling. If you ever see a strange bus shelter on a deserted road in the darkness of night, do not stop there. What you see is not always the truth. And yes, if you have ever experienced any scary journey or incident, you can share it with us. If you also want to share something with us, then type your story in the comment box and send it to us. Thank you for watching the video.